Welcome everybody today to the DASHCAST. Today we have a very special guest. This man established himself as a dominant force in wrestling with over 100 victories. This individual transitioned to Division I football for the Duquesne Dukes.
Let's go.
Initially as a defensive lineman, where he posed a significant challenge to opposing offenses. Later, he shifted to the role of protecting the quarterback as starting center. During his tenure at Duquesne, he earned recognition being named All-NEC Second Team and the NEC Academic Honor Roll. Pursuing his academic interest, he was admitted to study law at Duquesne University. He is widely known as the Prince of Pittsburgh. He has made his mark on the world of wrestling as the Legal Eagle, currently showcasing his talents in the WWE NXT under the moniker Luca Crusifino.
What's up, guys? Thank you guys for having me
here today, boss.
What's up, man? How are you guys doing?
Dude, great. How you been, bro?
Dude, feeling good.
So you just came back from Philly, man. How was the trip?
Yeah, Philly was awesome, man. I got to go for WrestleMania and Stand and Deliver as a part of the D'Angelo family. But we got to work WWE World, which is an event where fans just line up to see you, meet you, get a picture with you. So that was very cool. A lot of them surprisingly knew who I was. I kind of thought I was going in with, oh yeah, I'm just going to have a fun time. No one's going to really know who I am. I haven't really had that many TV appearances, but it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
People seeing me like, oh my God, you're Luca.
It's different once they start like recognizing who you are.
Yeah, it's like the dream slowly coming true more and more every time I get recognized. It's also a good thing too, because it's like I don't get recognized too much to where I can still go out and not that many people know who I am.
Yeah, it's
perfect. Cool. Yeah, it's perfect right now. I know it's gonna pick up, but right now it's like perfect.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you go to Philly. You just came back here. What else is new? What else is going on?
Yeah. So after I got back from Philly, I had a match on Tuesday, April 9th, I believe, and that was a tag match. Yeah, it was a tag match against No Quarter Catch Crew. That was my first tag match on television, my fourth match on live television for NXT, and it was very fun. I picked up my first pinfall victory on NXT TV, so it was really cool.
We got to see this clip.
Do we have that already?
Do we have the clip?
Let's see what we got. Let's see what we're cooking with.
I saw you, going at it.
I don't know which clip is it again.
From
pinfall.
April 9th with the tag team match with me and Stax, the underboss and the D'Angelo family. What a guy Stax is. Let me put him over for a second. He's the man, bro. I couldn't
How did
ask
you
for a
even
better
get
tag team
started with
partner.
the D'Angelo family?
So here we go. Here, a
Boom.
little waist takedown from Miles Bourne, who's an amateur wrestler back in the day. He's pretty good, but he's not strong enough to suplex Crusifino. Crusifino,
yes, sir.
Suplex right there.
Look at that,
Who does he
man.
think he is?
Dude, that's crazy.
Tag in the tag team partner Stax right here. He's gonna show me. He's gonna teach me how the D'Angelo family runs the ring. There he is with some knees. So the D'Angelo family, we're brawlers. He's kind of teaching me the way to land, how we fight. We're not just going out there trying to do wrestling moves. No, we're trying to beat the opponent's ass and try to make them quit. Yeah. Exactly.
That's awesome.
Stax still in this. It was a little cut there. I had a nice little moment in there before that, but Stax was he's getting his butt beat, but he's resilient here. He's not giving up, and
whoa,
yeah, that's
dude, your hair's long. Like I didn't realize it's really
I have it pulled up in the bun.
That's awesome.
There he is.
That's awesome. I kind of wanted to understand that trip back though. Like, how did it go from football to wrestling? Like, let's begin with the beginning.
Let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, you want to start with so
100 wins with wrestling. What makes you choose to hey, I'm going to Duquesne. I'm playing football. I'm not going to college for wrestling.
Yeah, so it started off. I was undefeated my senior wrestling season. I believe I was 20-0, and signing day was coming up, and I had 0 wrestling offers at the time. So I was kind of debating. I was like, okay, what do I want to do? I wanted to wrestle. I thought that would be. I mean, I'm undefeated, like ranked number 2 in the state, I believe at the time. I was like, okay, wrestling is probably my best sport. No offers. So okay, signing day is in.
Wait, what year was that of college?
This is my senior year of high school.
Oh, high school. Back in high school. Okay.
Yeah. So I had a few offers on the table. A lot of NEC schools: St. Francis, Robert Morris, Duquesne, some other smaller Division I AA schools. And about a week before signing day, I received a phone call from Ken Niamontololo and Coach Yakitis from Annapolis, Maryland, Navy. And at the time, my brother played at Army. So it was like
football.
Yes.
So it runs in the family. Pretty much.
It was like
a bunch of jacked guys.
I could go to Navy Annapolis, play football against my brother, which would have been awesome.
Awesome.
But thank goodness I didn't, because my brother ended up leaving West Point, medically discharged there, unfortunately.
Oh,
but
really?
It was that was the toughest decision there. They wanted me. Let me track back a little bit. The call was, hey, we're thinking about offering you. We have one more person who is ahead of you, basically. If they want it, they're going to get it. So I was like, okay, I'm their second option. Hated that. But obviously, it's a Navy. That's no knock on that.
Still.
That's awesome. And then I think it was a day or two later, they called me and they offered me. This is after I already committed to Duquesne. So I committed when I was 20-0 on senior night for wrestling. And I was like, okay, well now if I wanted to leave, I would have to decommit.
But did you have one sport that you liked doing more, like between the wrestling and the football, or was it just like an equal passion for you?
It was very, very much equal. When I was in wrestling season, I think I liked football more. And when I was in football season, I was like, oh, I can't wait for wrestling. So it was so weird. It's like once you're away from something for a while, you kind of want to get back to it. So that was kind of tough. But
who was the one that recruited you at Duquesne? Is the guy still there?
There was a few, yeah. Anthony Doria was still there, who's the offensive coordinator, and Coach Tony Papley, who's now the defensive coordinator at Edinburgh. So
he's the man.
He was the defensive line coach. And that was also another thing is Duquesne recruited me for defensive line, as you said. Navy wanted me for offensive line. Ooh. I like playing defense better.
Really?
How apropos that I got switched to offense. But anyways, so it's like a week before signing day. I went down to Duquesne. I was like, listen, like I just got an offer from Navy. And basically the coaches were like, okay, well, like, we can't compete with that, but, like, we got a scholarship here for you. Like, you signed. Like, I was already committed. I didn't want to decommit. I was like, I already pledged to commit to this school.
So you're going to go through with it.
Yeah, I didn't want to go back on my word. So I was like, okay.
But is there also, like, wrestling for college? Or is that not as...
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah. So after I...
Because I bet, like, senior year, you're probably like, oh, my God, should I apply for, like, these wrestling programs or these football programs?
Exactly.
Like, did that go...
Yeah, I just didn't have any scholarship offers for wrestling until signed letter of intent, ended up sticking with Duquesne. I was like, I want to play defense. Ended up signing with Duquesne. Now it comes time to early April or end of March. It was states. So go to states, place third in a state, immediately get I think it was someone from Maryland was like, hey, what are you doing for college? Like, we'd love for you to wrestle for us. Yeah. So there's the first verbal offer.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I signed to play football for Duquesne University. They're like, we actually...
Right after you sign it, they came to you?
This is like 2 months later.
Oh, my God.
And they're like, listen, like, we can't even talk to you. Like, you signed. You have to decommit for us to even
talk to
you.
You
have to ask... Yeah, it was like, you have to get a certain form to, like...
Even speak to us.
To get an offer, yeah. So there was that from Maryland. And then I went... I think I received a message from Campbell. They wanted me to wrestle there. And then I wrestled at the Dapper Dan, or the Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic, which is like an all-star classic, the best of the best in the world. Pennsylvania versus USA, and then Team Whippeal, which is Western Pennsylvania. Interscholastic Athletic League, I believe that's correct. Yeah. I'm not sure. Versus a random state every year. It changes. I believe my year was Georgia, so I wrestled the Georgia state champion or second place in Georgia State. And I tech faulted him. So that means you win by 15, they stop the match.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's pretty big win there. That match is on flowwrestling.com. I don't have a Flow Wrestling account, too expensive for me. And right after that, which was at the University of Pittsburgh coach came up to me and was like, hey, what are you doing for college next year? I said, I'm playing football at Duquesne. They're like, did you sign a letter of intent? I said, yes, I did. They're like, we can't even talk to you.
Oh,
so
my
there's
God.
three verbal offers after I already signed. And I wasn't asking. I didn't want to decommit.
It's like you have like this hot girl, but she has a boyfriend. You can't,
you
can't talk to her.
So it's like I was happy with my decision, but like I wish that it's tough because my high school isn't really a known wrestling high school, so it was tough to get on the map. Like my brother was a really good wrestler, and he didn't have any wrestling offers until his senior year. And then we had a heavyweight, Zach Jablonski, who's a really good wrestler also. He plays twice at States. I don't think he had any offers for wrestling until maybe late in his junior year, but he went to States. My brother went to States 3 times and didn't get an offer till his senior year. So it's like so weird.
Yeah, I bet the wrestling word is probably also different, right? Because like maybe because football is so much more popular, that's why those
for sure.
There's more people out there looking out.
Yeah. It's also about not at Duquesne, but at Division I schools. There's 80 scholarships you can get. Duquesne's a lot smaller. We get like 40, but so there's a lot more scholarships to be given. Wrestling, there's probably like 10 or 13 for.
So there's no wrestling at Duquesne, right?
Correct. If there was, I would have done both.
So here's my question: you're getting these verbal offers from Maryland, Pitt, Campbell. Are you thinking, hey, I could play football and wrestling at these schools? Do I go back on my word to maybe explore those offers, or that never even crossed your mind?
I don't think it crossed my mind because when I signed that letter of intent, at that moment, I was like, you know what? Wrestling might not be for me. Like that's got to be a reason, right? I mean, yeah. I had all these football offers, and I was like, I'm going to sign this, and I'm not going to go back on my word. And then afterwards, I was like, okay, this happened, this. But I'm like, you know what? Like, football is what I want to do. I got defensive line. I'm going to stay in the city of Pittsburgh, 30 minutes from my house. Like,
became the prince.
I'm the king. My brother's the prince.
Shoot.
Yeah, the king of Pittsburgh. Yeah.
King.
I got to learn that story because I haven't heard that one yet. But we're going to get into it.
Even better. But so then go on to play football at Duquesne University. Played my freshman and sophomore year. Got a decent amount of playing time both years as defensive tackle, which was weird because in high school I played defensive end. So
and that's like a big switch in the football world almost.
Yeah, because I'm not that big. I'm 6'1". Like at the time, I'm 270-ish pounds.
I'm not that big.
Small, yeah, but for a nose guard or for a defensive tackle, you see people 6'8", 320,
wow,
6'8", 380. I mean, it's
God.
And with your build being on the end, you can get around these. Tight end, get around the tackle.
At the collegiate level, I don't think my speed is up to par. I think I'm a little slow as defensive end there. Yeah. But I was always comfortable playing in the end. And then I played inside like when I was a kid and in Pee Wee football and youth football. But it was definitely challenging because now you're getting double teamed by 2 offensive linemen who are 600 pounds combined. And holding your own is tough. But I think I was able to do the job. I mean, they trusted me enough to put me on the football field my true freshman year and my true sophomore year. And then going into spring ball of my junior year, I got pulled into Coach Schmidt's office, and he said, "Hey, we just graduated 4 starting offensive linemen, I believe 3 of which were all conference. What do you think about making the move to offensive line? We know you're a good offensive lineman." I said, "Whatever's best for the team, absolutely." From there, switched to offensive line. I thought I was terrible. Watching back the film, I was like, oh, my God. Like,
why did he do that?
How was I even rotating in with the first team and second team? Like, I don't know what I was doing. And then we get into fall camp of my true junior year, and it was the 5th practice, and I tore my ACL. So missed an entire season of football.
Big setback.
Yeah, so that sucked. And then I was medically cleared within 3 months, which is not normal. We use a quadriceps tendon graft, which is, I believe, the best thing you can do for an ACL injury. I went to nursing school for first semester at Duquesne. Found out I hated that. It was absolutely awful. A lot harder than law school. Sorry.
Really? Sorry. Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
Big statement.
That's a big statement right there. Yeah.
So I left that after a semester and then didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I was like, you know what? Like maybe law school is an idea. So I was like, how am I going to get into law school?
But why law? Like what? Do you have anyone in your family that does any law?
I think it was more so I wanted to be a sports agent and knowing that
all the legal
understanding contract law and also like criminal law is cool and like I always like read up on cases and I was like, you know what? That might be a good thing to do.
But it wasn't like a family thing. Like
nope.
You don't have lawyers in your family, none of that?
No, none.
You've always found that ability, like you liked reading things, depicting information, and speaking to people?
Yeah. I've always was able to retain information pretty well. Even now in this job, like you just got to retain a lot of stuff.
Before we move on from football, though, I really want to let's. You posted some day in the life videos of a D1 football player. I remember those days, right? Yeah, so take me to like the structure of that day. You're waking up super early. You got meetings, you got practice, you still got schoolwork, classes. Tell us about that day. How hard is it compared to a normal student?
Oh my God.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, a day in the life of a student athlete it's ridiculous. It's just like a normal student's day, plus 4 hours of physical activity, 3 to 4 hours of physical activity, plus like 3 to 4 hours of mental activity. Just watching film, studying plays, and learning the offense. It gets easier as you go, as you progress in your years, I think. I thought so for me. I was able to study film a lot easier. Reading defenses, reading offenses, I never really did. I just read my keys on offensive linemen. But whenever I made the transition to offensive line.
That's definitely something people don't think about as much. They think like these athletes are just working out and like lifting and running and doing just the field work.
Oh, yeah.
But they're studying also to the sports.
Yeah, the working out's the easy part.
Yeah. Getting there physically.
That's the fun part.
It's having the
rewatching the matches, I'm sure, like seeing what you did wrong and what you have to improve.
Oh, for sure.
Lots of that, talking to your coach. So there's a lot of studying even in sports, guys. You can't run away from studying.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's very true. Studying is the toughest part, because then, especially, we'll get into the law school stuff later, but just even undergrad in football was ridiculously hard. At Duquesne, Duquesne's academics are very challenging too. So it's like I had to take like a statistics class, and I was like, "What am I doing here?" And I'm very good at math, and I was just like, I had no idea what was going on.
A different world.
And then figuring out, like, I would always go on to rate my professor, find the best professor. Okay, who's the nicest one? Who's the most lenient one? Who's the coolest one?
Yeah.
And even with that, it was still like, dang, this class is a lot to handle. And in class the whole time, I'm just sitting there on DV Sport watching film, because I'm like, this is important. I mean, they're both important. Like, student comes before the word athlete. But as a wise man once said, I didn't come to school. I didn't come here to play school. I came here to play football. And
that's cool.
I forget who that was. It might have been Cardale Jones. It's an Ohio State quarterback.
Right.
Don't quote me on that. But yeah, no, it's a challenge. And then so now we'll get into when I received the call, because that happened before. Well, we'll get into law school. So I made the decision.
But then you got hurt, right? And then and that's when you were like, oh, maybe I should focus on the school part.
Yeah. So
the school aspect
is actually, I get hurt, recovering, excited for the next football season, gets delayed because of COVID. So now I have. It was actually a blessing, because
and this time you're texting me, because I'm going now to Duquesne, and you're like, I remember it was like St. Patty's Day weekend.
That's when it all shut down.
And you're texting me, hey, come out with us.
Yep.
Right, let's go to Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And I'm hype. I'm ready to go out with the older boys. 4 years older than me. And then next thing you know,
shut down. Everything done. So,
dude,
it's like it was.
That was probably really hard, because I want to. Like, how was it? Because you were like almost certain you were going to be an athlete at that point, like probably pro, right? And then boom, this big shift. Like, oh, maybe not. Maybe COVID, like life happens. And then how was that switch to like, maybe I'm just going to be a nerd?
Well, it turned out that it all ended up being a blessing, because if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
I'm sure.
But
I'm saying at that time you didn't know that yet, right? You were just receiving the news that probably you're going into academics. So how did that feel, like knowing that you would have to kind of quit, quote unquote, sports?
It was weird. Well, I didn't think COVID was going to last as long as it did. I think everyone thought it was going to be quicker.
COVID.
A month maybe.
But it was ridiculous. And then when football season gets canceled, we're like, what's going on here? And then we did have the opportunity. It was really good for me, because coming off the knee injury, although I was cleared within 3 months, which isn't normal, they didn't push me to do anything until 9. But once we came back and it was 9, we were doing stuff for like, I think it was like a week or two before we get shut back down. So it gave me an extended recovery time of almost like a year and a half. So I almost had like 14 full months to recover from my knee injury. Played in the spring season, lost in the conference championship game, unfortunately. And then it was like, okay, what do we got from here? I have 1 more year, or technically now I had 2 more years, because we got the year back from COVID.
Yeah.
But I graduated. So I was like, I have to
Do something.
I have to do another program. And I was like, let's go into law school. Took my LSATs. Absolutely crushed the LSATs.
Really?
Yeah. And
I hear that's a really hard exam. Can
Yeah.
you talk just a little bit about that exam? Because we know a lot of people that are like struggling with it and stuff. So how did you study for it? Did you even study for it?
I didn't study.
just like I studied for my football for my football games. It's just close yourself in a dark room, sitting somewhere, and you just study.
How long were you studying for the LSAT?
8 hours a day.
For how many days?
2 months.
Wow, that's a lot.
And you're, but you're not a guy who just like closes the door and doesn't talk to anyone. You're social. You know everyone. Again, king of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
How do you close the door on everyone else to be like, hey, I'm studying for 8 hours for the next 2 months. Don't bother me. Almost. How do you
able
do
to
that?
manage social life during LSAT?
Yeah. I think it was also because I think it was like during the COVID time where we still had to get tested and still things weren't completely open and you couldn't really go out. You had to wear a mask and do stuff. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to stay in my place. I'm going to have friends over. We're going to hang out. But like during the day, I'd just wake up a little earlier.
Be productive.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like we had the summer. So, and I had a nice house in the Southside Slopes, which was very fun. And then
that helps.
it was really cool. And I'm fine with.
So if you're in law school, you can still play. Is that the idea? If you're in
I didn't know that
program,
So I didn't know that. I asked, and they told me yes, and I was on scholarship, so they paid for my first year of law school, which was awesome.
Awesome.
So I was like,
I didn't know that either. I thought you had to play as an undergrad.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
I thought so too. And then I remember asking the head of compliance, Rick Christensen. I said, "Hey, I want to attend law school next year. I'm going to apply." And he said, "Okay, let me know how it goes." I got in, and they said, "Okay, we're going to pay for it." So
That was pretty great
Wow.
news.
Yeah.
It's not cheap.
That's simple,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I believe Duquesne Law is somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000 a year, which is ridiculous.
Through the roof.
So I'm very thankful for that. But as you said, second team all conference, I believe, back to the spring season and then the following season. I think that was kind of a reason they were like, okay, he's worth it. He's a key piece of this
This guy's
team.
been playing since freshman year. Now we allowed him to switch positions, go from defense to offense, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
And is it in football? Because I don't know much about football. I mean, I'm from Brazil. I know more about soccer than anything.
Yeah.
But
Real
in
football.
soccer,
Yes. I got you.
So like in soccer, the guy in offense gets all the clout. I don't know if it's the same.
Similar,
here.
but skill players get all the clout. So receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, even some like safeties and DBs. The
guys
offensive
in the
defensive
trenches.
linemen, they go unnoticed, but they are the most important piece, the key piece
Yes.
to that
I
team.
see.
Jason Kelsey, he's putting him on the
he's a
map.
beast.
He's putting him on the
Because
map.
I feel like in soccer,
Marquise
everybody
Pouncey
would
growing
love to go from defense to offense because that means they get all the cameras on them. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's the same way in football.
Yeah, it's more the skill positions, like he was
Yeah.
saying, like
Yeah.
the people catching the ball,
Like wide receiver.
throwing the ball.
Yeah, offensive linemen I would say, are probably the least focused on people when they're the most important.
Yeah.
If you have a terrible offensive line, as you can have seen the past few years for the Pittsburgh Steelers, no bueno. Yeah, not good. So that was cool. But where were we at?
So law school. So then you took the LSAT, got in. They're like, okay, we're
Killed
paying
the
for
LSAT.
Yeah.
Easy exam.
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty easy. And then, like I said, over the course of my past 5 semesters, I believe over the last 5 semesters, my GPA was like a 3.95. My first 3 semesters, it was like a 2.4. So I had to build it up, and it was because of nursing school, which tanked it. And then me just figuring out, I was taking classes. I was taking like creative writing classes. I was like, what am I doing? I was like, I had no idea.
Why did you want to do nursing at the first place?
I wanted to be a nurse anesthetist. I wanted to be a CRNA, be the nurse to the anesthesiologist, the one who's actually doing all the work.
Yeah, while the anesthesiologist
Pays well. So I always wanted to do that, but then I was told that for the first, I believe it's 18 months to 3 years, you have to work in intensive care with patients who are either about to pass away, wiping patients' asses, giving them baths, and that was something that was just... That's for some people, but that's not something that I wanted to do with my life. I was like, I don't think I could stomach that. Watching people pass away, that's not something I wanted to see.
Probably not the most motivating job.
No, man, not at all. But it's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
But nurses, great people. I mean, you went to nursing
Yeah,
school.
of course.
Yeah, so the whole Nurses versus law school. Tell us why is nursing so much harder than law school? In your
Yeah, we
opinion?
want to hear more about
wanna-
that because it's a controversial statement.
Yeah.
I just felt like nursing school. It's law school. You do all your work outside of class. You read your cases. You come to class prepared, and you just talk about the cases. So class itself isn't hard. All you're doing is discussing in class, and you're going through your IRACs, which is an acronym. I forget what that even means right now. but you're just going through like the cases, and you're talking about it. You're talking over the laws, and it's really interesting. Nursing school,
It's more fun.
I was taking like infotech and contemporary, and I was like, "What is it? Like this? I don't want to learn about this." I was like, "I just want to get into the job." And law school was like, I was actually maybe
More
it's just for
engaging.
me because I was like interested in it. I was like, "Oh, someone sued Walmart for false imprisonment. Why?
Let's read about it."
Let's talk about it. Like this is cool. What's the law behind it? Has this happened again? Yes, it has. Let's go. This is cool." And then
Yeah.
like reading up on like current cases that are happening throughout, like when I was in law school, like there was a bridge that collapsed in Pittsburgh, and like,
yeah.
what are they liable for? And I was like, this is so cool. Like, let's talk about it.
Whose
Like,
fault is it?
Exactly. It was like,
Yeah.
it was
It's
very
more engaging and fun. But how are the exams like in law school? Versus...
So law school. That's the tough part about law school is about, depending on the class, at the minimum I believe was 50%, all the way up to about 80% of your final grade is based off one test, your final exam.
Okay.
So it's
Stressful.
It's very
Going
stressful,
into that.
very nerve wracking. You do get I want to say like a cheat sheet, or it's like you can like put stuff on. Usually, some classes you get one piece of paper, some classes you get 10. So like that one piece of paper, they're like you can use a legal document, which is a little bit bigger. And
But
my
I've heard
font-
it's
my
not
font
super
was, like-
helpful because it's like I heard it's
It
not
helps.
super. Is it?
It helps if you can't retain information. I can, so like I was like, okay, I know all this stuff, but what? There's so much. Like it's a whole year.
It's more to organize your thoughts and to actually give you an
Exactly.
answer, right?
Yeah, because like there's so many laws and there's so many like one
Cases.
you put one word wrong, it's incorrect. Like you have to be like
On top of it,
perfect.
yeah.
It's very weird, but it's and like you have to know like for civil procedure you have to know like the section and the number every
Oh,
single
exactly
like 12.1
Subsections.
12.1b
Yeah.
exactly. It's just like
Oh my God,
it
that's
does
crazy.
get civil procedure is actually my favorite class, which is weird and contracts, which is weird because they're opposite ends of the spectrum. Contracts are things to keep people out of court. Civil procedure is in court, so it's like here and
liked
here.
it all.
And I liked it all, but contracts was my number one focus because I wanted to be a sports agent. So doing all that, going into law school, playing football at the same time.
Yeah, that was probably weird.
Yeah.
So your first semester in law school, were you already in the season? Was it
Yep,
the
same time.
Same time?
Yeah, so I remember we were in football camp and I had law school orientation, and I got to go on the Gateway Clipper Fleet, and they gave us drink tickets, and I made a hell of a first impression.
I bet you did.
I remember I was like, let me get 2 Manhattans. I was like, I don't even like Manhattans. What am I doing? I was like, this is fun. I met some really cool people in law school. The dean I still talk to. Both there's 3 deans of a law school. The head dean, Dean Wilkie, is an amazing person. And then Dean Barton. I'm sorry. You can cut that out. Yeah, there we go. The head dean, Dean Barton, is an amazing person, and then Dean Wilkie was also my LRW, which is a writing class, learning how to write and type in law school like the proper way.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. So
There's a lot into it.
it was cool, and all my professors, Seth Orenberg, he was the man. We've had, we went. He actually has a. I'm not going to talk about this. Okay, Seth Orenberg's the man, and then Professor Herman was awesome. Professor Baker McKee. I just put all my professors over. Professor Jameson. I mean, they're all
What
really
did
cool.
you feel like was the main difference? Because you played at the undergraduate level, and then you went to law school, and your first semester in law school, you're already playing again. So how different was that? Like, did you feel like it was harder
Yes.
to play during law school
It
than
was-
it
it
was
was-
as an undergrad?
It's harder because in undergrad, if you have to travel for something, you're okay to miss. It's like, okay, you have football, sign this, whatever. In law school, it's like, you can't miss. So
Oh, yeah.
I had to.
So attendance is
yeah,
required.
there was a game we played in Long Island where we left, I think, on a Thursday, and I had class, and my professor was like, you can't miss class. So okay, told my coaches, and they're like, we're gonna have to put you on a separate flight. So I flew by myself.
Getting the private treatment.
Just because of-
Essentially, but it was like
Yeah.
they flew charter, I didn't. Oh no, they bussed, I flew. So yeah, I did get a little. You're right, I did get a little.
the law student
Little
gets
special treatment there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that was cool, but a lot more reading. When I say you have to read, for an example, you would have a class either 2 or 3 times a week, both equal, I believe, about an hour and a half. It's either 3 50-minute classes or 2 hour and 20-minute classes, something about that time. And for each class, you would probably have to read 2 to 3 cases, which sometimes can be 20 pages or sometimes can be 80 pages. So reading
you never
and
know what's coming.
Yeah, reading and I forget the word. I see my law school brain's not working anymore. But like reading and like actually going through the cases and like having them ready for class and like making IRACs for them it takes all night. So that also took away from my sleep because I still wanted to study football and I still wanted to do all that. So I was like, now I'm getting.
Did you have anyone
sleep.
on the team that was also in some similar program, either law school or med school, some upper level?
Yeah, my not. I don't know exactly what
That's probably
school
hard
he was
to find.
in.
Like people that are playing.
But my roommate, Spencer DeMetal, I believe he went to medical school afterwards, but he was in a master's degree of like one of the most, like it was like the most difficult degree you can do it in. And there was I believe there was a quarterback also who went to Montour High School who played at Duquesne. He went to pharmacy school at Duquesne.
Wow.
So there have been people who have done things in the past, but no football player at Duquesne has went to law school, I believe. Don't quote me on that. Sorry if
first one.
Only the king.
but there was like 2 or 3 other athletes in law school. They were different sports.
Oh, different sports, not football.
But
Is law school pass-fail? So these classes, is it you need to get a certain
Like
grade?
the exams?
Yeah.
yeah,
Or is it like letter grades?
Like, you know how
Is it
med
A,
school
B,
is
C?
more, a lot of med schools have transitioned to pass and fail. So you need to maintain like a certain grade to pass, but there's no like you need an A, you need a B.
correct. I believe it's pass-fail
Okay.
if you fail a class. I think if you fail one class, it's like, okay, you got to retake it next year. You fail 2, you get kicked
You're
out.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean,
So it's
similar to med school.
yeah, I think med school
It's
is
kind of
similar.
it's very tough and nerve-wracking in that sense because it all relies on basically one test.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is your attendance. And if you don't go to class, it's kind of class is the fun thing, and like that's where
It's like
you
90%
can talk
of
through
it.
the cases and things that happen in class. Like take those notes from the class because that's going to be on the exam. Like you need that.
If you miss that, then you're
Screwed.
Yeah.
So there were times where I had to miss class. For example, I missed class for my WWE tryout. We'll get into that. Let's actually get into that because
Yeah, I was wondering, like, how. So when did you actually stop football?
Okay, so
Let's
I
get
finished.
into that. Like,
I finished
why did
playing.
you stop football?
I finished playing, like October-ish, I think, of 21. This is gonna be a guess of 2021.
That's okay.
In January of 2022, I was like, okay, I'm gonna bulk up. I'm gonna get as strong as I can. I'm gonna be a beast this year, football, right? At the end of January, I get a direct message on Instagram from WWE Recruit and a text message at the same time, and I was like, this isn't real. How'd they get my number? Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
like how?
It's like, hey, this is Graham from WWE.
But you weren't even doing wrestling at the time, were you?
No.
Just football.
Yep, correct.
Okay, yep.
And they said, like, we saw you express interest in WWE. Like, would you be wanting to try out? And I was like, I was trying to think, like, what did I express interest? And I was like, I remember going back and liking all WWE Recruits posts for the first NIL class because I was like, NIL just started. I was like, I want to be a part of NIL.
Oh
like,
my
I want
God.
to be in the WWE NIL class. I was like, this is my means to get to it. There were track athletes. For example, Tank Ledger and Obafemi were part of the first NIL class who are Obafemi is now the North American champion in NXT.
Wow.
And
So
Tank
you want to
Ledger's
be the
a
football
stud.
guy.
Exactly.
For-
I was like, there's other sports, people that are currently playing sports right now that are getting an opportunity to try out with the WWE. How do I do that? So I just started liking their posts. Didn't think anything of it. And then get the text message.
That's
Crazy.
a crazy thing, dude.
It was weird. And I said,
I would also think that's somebody
It's like a
trolling
scam
me.
or something,
There's
yeah.
no way.
Exactly. So he was like, let's set up a call. So we called later in the week, and he said, hey, we have a tryout this week. And it was the exact same week of my spring football game and the exact same week, or the week before my oral arguments. So I was like, there's absolutely no way I can do that. Like,
Yeah, because you have like 3 things you got to balance.
Three huge
out.
things. That's
Oh
not even
my
little things.
God.
They're
I was like,
big.
because if this trial doesn't work out, then
That's
like
crazy.
coaches are probably going to be pissed at me for going, which they weren't. And my law school, like,
They're gonna be.
a lot of things will get screwed up. For example, when I got back from the tryout, I had to sign up for classes. I missed the sign up day, so the classes that I had to schedule for the following year were classes I didn't even want to go to. So it was like, this would have been boring. So I get asked to try out. I say, well, I have all this stuff. Like,
How
I
did you
don't
even
think
make
I
that
can.
decision? Like, which one of the three?
Yeah. I got a good build up on the story here. So it starts with so I get asked to try out. I say, listen, like, I don't think I can. Like, is there any other tryouts you have? They said, yeah, we have tryouts all the time, but like this is like the one that like if you want to go, like, you should get into this one. Like, we don't know like when the other ones are or where they'll be. So it was in Dallas, and I was like, shit, like, I want to do this. I was like, give me by the end of the week, I'll get back to you. So I go and talk to the other captains on the team, talk to Joe Mishler, Spencer DeMetal, everyone else who was on the team. I was like, listen, like, I got this opportunity. Every single person said, go do it. So, okay, that's set.
That's helping.
Then I go to my coaches. Hey, I got a WWE tryout offer. It's the same week of the spring game, or it's this week, or whatever it was. It was April, da-da-da-da-da. And April 1st was the date of the tryout. And he was like, well, this is me doing a Coach Smith
Coach impression.
He's like, I don't want you to get hurt. He's like, I don't want you to be doing flips. I was like, no, that's not what they do at the. So this was a tryout for all athletes. So there's no actual wrestling involved. It was learning. I'll get into the tryout process, but
Yeah.
I was like, basically, like, we're not going to be wrestling. Like, it's just going to be like just like rolls and like learning how
Just
to
to
run
get
the
the feel of
ropes
it.
and just to see if I can make it. And he's like, all right, like, this is something you really want to do. And he knew this is like something I've always wanted to do for my entire life. So he gave me the okay. Now I go to my law school professors.
Oh my God, so many permissions.
Exactly, because like, I don't want to. Everyone's like, it's better to ask
Yeah,
for forgiveness and permission. I don't like that. Like, I think it's a respect thing. You go and make sure it's okay, and if they say no, then you
go
still
from there.
Then you go for the
you still
forgiveness.
then
do
you
it.
still do it. But like,
At least it makes you seem like you're a good guy.
Exactly.
At least I tried.
So
Yeah, that.
all my professors were like, yeah, that's cool. Like, you can do that. Like, it is the week before oral arguments, but they're like, you can do that. Like, just get to work. Like, be on time. Like, try to zoom in if you can for class. So I had to zoom in for class during the trial.
Oh my God.
We'll get back to that. And
That's crazy.
and then I asked the dean, and she was like, absolutely, go do this. And I was like, whoa. Coming from the dean was like, yeah,
Yeah.
go
So
do
I'm
this.
doing
Like,
it.
that's so cool. Like, go do it. And I was like, all right, everyone wants me to do it. I'm doing it. I feel like I would have done it regardless, but like, had my head coach said, no, you can't, and had the dean say, no, you can't, like, I couldn't. Like,
Yeah.
I can't go behind, like, I'll get kicked out of law school, I'll get kicked off the football team. Like,
Just to chase something that's not
Yeah,
even
that's
guaranteed.
not even certain.
But
yeah.
it was so awesome.
That's really nice that they
to have the
understood.
support
Yeah,
from all
that's
them.
really awesome that they supported you.
It was cool. So then I began training with an independent wrestler who goes by the name.
How much time did you have to train for the tryout?
So this is end of so early February. I had all of February and all of March. So I had 2 months.
Oh
which
my
is
God. It's not
which
that
is
much time if you're considering it's
a little bit-
WWE tryout.
I believe
it's like,
it's a
okay, you've got
little-
2 months. You haven't been wrestling for
Yeah.
all these years.
I believe it's a little bit longer than normal. I think people get told like a few weeks in advance. I'm not sure how that works exactly, but
But people usually are also wrestling.
Yeah.
Right there at their peak. They're not doing just football in law school.
yeah. Well, now we're actually hiring athletes that have no wrestling backgrounds at all.
Really?
Yeah, that's the big focus. There's independent wrestling signings as well, but majority of these tryouts, like the past tryout in Philadelphia, was, I believe, all athletes. So
Interesting.
That's
swimmers,
really
wrestlers,
interesting.
basketball, baseball, football, etc. Cheerleader. Let me tell you something about male cheerleaders in wrestling. I've never. No, it's
crazy. I've never heard of that.
unbelievable. There's just one guy who is on the WWE Next Gen show, which is on Roku TV. Plug. And,
Shout
his
out.
name's Keyshawn LaFleur, and he's like the most athletic person I've ever seen in the ring. And he's a male cheerleader. He's a beast. He's going to be very good in his company.
That's crazy.
So it's,
How they can hold the cheerleaders in one hand and stuff, crazy.
it doesn't make sense to me.
So I'm sure
that
that
might be one of the
translates well.
most physically challenging things in the world.
Yeah, I couldn't even
That's-
My
imagine.
shoulder would gone.
Yeah.
But so
So you go to the tryouts.
so even before the tryout, I'm like 285 pounds.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
this is the biggest ever
How
was.
heavy are you right now, just so we have some context?
215.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
build it
crazy.
246.
That's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Wikipedia says 246. I googled you.
Because I edited that on my own. They had me at 285. I was like, I'm not 285 anymore. That'd be
246.
lower. than
Let's
this.
change it a little bit.
I edited myself. That's funny. But so 285. I'm like, okay. Looking at myself in the mirror, they're like, you got to take a picture of yourself, like shirtless, before you come. And I was like, Not
What
yet.
am I gonna do?
I was like, not yet. Let me get into a little bit of shape. So I believe by the time I got to the tryout, I was 260-ish. So I lost 25 before the tryout. But I was training. So not only was I doing law school classes every day, going in a tanning bed every day to try to get a tan because darker your complexion, like you look better under the lights. That's the look of a superstar. Like we're tan, we spray tan, or we tan under the sun, just to make us. Because when you're underneath those lights, you're like 5 shades lighter. So it's ridiculous. So tanning every day, working out for football every day, and would do a wrestling training session 2 to 3 times a week with an independent wrestler named Victor Benjamin, Savage Gentleman. He's a beast. He's from Pittsburgh. And his wife, Lady Frost, both independent wrestlers. Lady Frost, I believe, had a tryout with the WWE. And they're awesome people. So
And you're cutting weight.
So he's doing all of this. You're
they're
telling
the
me you
ones
can't
helping
do
me.
something. You can study for 2 hours. This man's doing everything.
Exactly. So they're the ones getting me into shape, teaching me how to do all these rolls, how to take all these bumps, how to hit the ropes properly. I'm training in a boxing ring at Wright's Gym in Pittsburgh.
That's crazy,
so it's like
man.
boxing ring. It's very difficult.
Very different.
It's completely different than a wrestling ring. The ropes are loose and you can't really hit them. But then we would do this thing called the bag drill, and it's where there's a sandbag in the middle or like a big boxing bag in the middle. You hit the ropes, drop down, jump over, drop down, hit the ropes, drop down, jump over, drop down, hit the ropes. That's one.
Tiring.
Tiring.
That's how he lost 20 pounds.
They were like, they're going to make you do this at the tryout. I was like, oh my God. I was like, let's do this every day until I pass out. Like, I need to get this. Yeah. So the amount of cardio that they put me through was very beneficial because, when I got to the tryout, I was more prepared than anyone, I believe. In my head, I think that's why I got the offer. So training all that comes to the Raw before WrestleMania in Pittsburgh. I go, sit front row. I had tickets through actually my tattoo artist had a good connection, Ramon, and sat front row and got to see everyone. And then I fly out the next morning. So I'm on my flight out. I'm on the flight with Randy Orton, with Seth Rollins, with Becky Lynch.
Oh my
with
God!
All WWE superstars.
How did you feel
now
that flight?
I work with?
And you're looking around, seeing
That's
them.
crazy.
Well, I was like, this is insane. I was like, hey, like I'm going down to tryout, and they're like, good luck, man. Like,
they're
they're probably
real.
thinking like, this guy's not.
And those are
gonna
the people
make
you
it.
used to see on TV, and then like
Now I work with them. It's crazy.
That's insane, man.
So it was really cool. Get down to the tryout, check in and everything. First day of the tryout, they would get our height, our weight. Pretty sure I cheated my height. I was probably on my tiptoes. do all these medical exams just to make sure that you're like medically cleared to compete. Make sure you don't have, because they ask you have to go through. You have to get a physical beforehand. You have to get blood work done to make sure you don't have any blood diseases or anything to make sure you're okay to wrestle.
Wow.
And because there's been time like if I went in there and told them I've never had an injury before, and then they go in and they're like, up, you have an ACL injury. Up, you fractured your elbow. Up, this.
They'll find it out.
That's not a good look.
Yeah, looks like you're hiding more than
Correct.
just that.
Exactly, which is not
Ideal,
good.
yeah.
You're right.
So medical exams, go through performance testing where we did a broad jump, a vert. There was like a cone drill where you had to jump over, underneath, and back, and it was kind of cool. I thought I did that. I thought I did pretty good at that. Overhead med ball toss, I believe I was like top 5 out of all the guys there. And then we get into like,
but not a lot of contact.
not at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we get into.
So you didn't like your football coach? That's good.
No, yeah, there was 0 contact. And then
I thought you were telling him that just so you know.
right? No.
Don't like your coach, and then you get there.
Yeah, right. And then we get into the beginning. It was just like a warm up, and it's on the floor, and all we would do is squats, push ups, sit ups, and like wrestling get ups. And when he said that was the warm up, I was like, warm up.
This is
I was dead after that, and then we had to then we didn't even get in the rings yet.
And
then
you were training crazy. Imagine the other guys too. Like,
yeah. Also, yeah, I
there were
stopped.
probably people quitting on the
Yeah.
warm up.
I also stopped drinking like as soon as I found out I was doing the tryout. So it's 2 months clean of alcohol. I think that also helped me lose weight and everything. And then
For sure,
I
lots
felt
of-
so much better, man. It was. I just felt 10 times better. And then get into the ring and it's just like, okay, we're gonna teach you guys how to do rolls, front rolls, right shoulder rolls, left shoulder rolls, back rolls. Like nothing too crazy, but like. They want, like, if they coach you up on one thing, for example, like you do a right shoulder roll and you don't step with your left foot forward, they'll be like, hey, step with your left foot forward. the next time you do the roll, if
That's
you don't step
crazy.
with your left foot forward, they're like, this guy doesn't get it. You have to be coachable. That's what they're looking for, is coachability, people with personalities, people not faking it, people being themselves. And
Genuine.
I think that's exactly what got me the contract. We would have promo sessions where we would have to memorize a promo. I still remember mine. It was Saturday, September 17th. I told you I retained information pretty well. That was the King returns to Madison. The King of Pittsburgh returns to Madison Square Garden in front of all you losers.
Yeah.
That's so
So go to Ticketmaster.com. It was like, I remember, it's so weird that I remember this because this is almost 2 years
years
ago.
ago.
Almost exactly 2 years ago.
Stuck to you.
And then the final day we had, this is now Friday. The final day of the trial, we went outside at the Star. It was a Star in Dallas where the Cowboys practice, and we're outside, had the ring set up out there, ran through like one final big cardio day, and it was awesome. And then had a promo session, and the promo session was like on a panel. And now when I'm saying promo, it's not just like you're in a room. You're on a stage in front of Triple H, in front of Shawn Michaels, in front of the head coach of the Performance Center, Matt Bloom,
Oh my God.
in front of Stephanie
How
McMahon.
many guys are
stressful.
trying? How
I
many
mean,
It was
guys-
54 or 55 at our trial.
it's a
And
big-
I'd
it's a big
say
group.
I'm friends with every single one of them still.
Really?
By that
Yeah.
Friday, did like 10, 15 get
Yeah, so-
eliminated? Or
So no one got I believe someone might have got not eliminated, but
Like disqualified.
someone got medically disqualified for a concussion maybe.
Okay.
But no one was like, hey, you don't
You're
have
done.
it, go home. No, like everyone has the chance to prove themselves. So that was cool. And then right after that, there was, I believe, 10 people who got told they got a contract offer. I wasn't one of them. So I was like, all right, whatever. Like, let's go out and celebrate for these 10 people because I'm friends with them too. And I'm never the person that's like, oh, like,
Yeah, I didn't make
boo.
it.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, I'm so happy for these guys. Let's go out and celebrate for them. Go out, celebrate. We're
Damn,
out
so
till
you didn't get it right away. Oh my
no.
God. That's crazy.
So I go out and we celebrate until like 1 a.m. or whatever. Go back to the hotel. I have a flight at I think I had to get up at 5 for my flight. Go to the airport.
Go back to normal life.
Well, I
Football.
land in Pittsburgh around 11 a.m. and my spring football game started at 1. So
Oh my-
I played in that spring football game.
No
with no
way.
voice.
You played the next day.
Yep.
That's
Wow.
insane, man.
Yeah.
That's a cool story.
And that was my last football game ever. Because
No
the following
way.
Tuesday
That's a
after that
nice
Saturday.
wrap up.
I'm getting goosebumps.
Yeah.
You got the call.
Yeah, the following Tuesday I got the call and they offered me a contract.
Oh my God.
And I was in property class, and everyone was texting like, "I'm getting a call. I didn't make it. Or I'm getting a call. Like I got an extended contract or extended tryout." And I was like, "Get me out of this class. Like I gotta go."
So you had no clue this was going to happen. The next Tuesday comes and you're like,
Yep. I didn't know when. I knew that they said they would call, but I didn't know when. And like I was like, maybe I didn't have enough.
So
maybe
you
I
were
wasn't
in
good
class
enough.
when they called you?
So I was.
Like, how was exactly when they called
So
you?
I was in class, and like we had like a huge Snapchat group message with everyone in it, and they were like, "I used to got a call. I didn't make it." So I'm like, "Oh, they're making their calls."
Dude, imagine like that.
So I'm like,
Dude.
"Oh shit."
gut wrench.
like, I'm
feeling.
about to get it.
So I go into my I lived in Brodier. I go up there, and as soon as I walk in, phone call, Stamford, Connecticut. I'm like,
Oh,
Heart starts bracing.
I'm like,
God.
hello, like hey, basically like how'd you enjoy the trial? I was like, it's the most fun I've ever had. They're like, okay, we're making our rounds, we're calling everyone, like we're making some good calls, we're making some bad calls. He goes, this is a good call, and I just started immediately started crying. I was like, thank you so much, like. This means the world to me. Like, yes, I accept. Like, before even talking to anyone, I was like, I accept. Like, I'm doing this.
I don't care.
And then I hang up the phone, and I'm just like,
That's
I made it.
your life just boom
yeah. I was like,
inside out.
I'm getting chills now thinking about it. I'm getting emotional. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's cool. Like, my dream came true.
That's
And now it's like,
crazy.
all right, now I got to call my mom, tell her that.
So
I
she was
call
the
her.
first person you called.
I don't know if it was my mom, my dad, my grandma, or my brother. But it was
One of
But
them.
you
So
called
it was
them all.
It
family.
was those four, and I don't know what order. I think I told my Gammy, she doesn't have social media, so she won't be watching this. I think I told her it was her, but I think it might have been my mom.
That's
I don't know. It was
insane.
either my mom or my dad or my brother. It was like bang, bang, bang. It was like,
Yeah,
hey.
all the same, pretty much.
Yeah. So it was.
And how are they taking this? Are they ecstatic through the roof?
That's-
What's going on? in
Yeah, I
these
think
calls?
my mom and my dad both cried.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was cool. And then, like when I say like I had to call everyone, like now I gotta make the call
to Dean.
And that's good.
Now I gotta
because
make
you
the call to
weren't-
Jerry Schmidt.
You didn't feel like divided either, right? Because you weren't like, it was clear to you what you wanted to do at that point, right?
Correct.
You weren't thinking maybe I should do football or
well,
this.
no, I was kind of still like, I had another year of football, so
Yeah, because that's
And-
what I was wondering, because you're also playing high level football.
yeah, like I know what I wanted in my heart was like, you got to do this. Like you tried out, you put in all the work. Like,
You
this is
made
what
it.
you did it for. But then it was like, I'm gonna let everyone on my team down. Like this is my last year of football.
That
Like I'm the
conflict.
captain of the team. Like they're expecting me to come out and like go have one last hurrah. Plus we were playing in Hawaii. Like that would have been awesome going another week in
my
Hawaii.
God.
But I got to experience that my sophomore year. So I was like, all right. So then I had the one call I dreaded to make was like to the head coach, and I was like,
Coach Schmidt.
Coach, I got some news, and he goes, you got the contract, didn't you? I go, I did. And he's just like, you deserve it. Basically, he's like, I'm not gonna tell you anything. He's like, I'm not gonna tell you no. He's like, go do this. He's like, if that's what your heart wants, like that's what you. He's like, go do this. I'm not gonna tell you not to. The only person who basically told me no was the offensive coordinator, Doria. Was like, I don't want you to leave. Like, no, don't you're my offensive lineman. He
There had to be somebody. I was about to say.
yeah, through the first like 6-7 months of me being, he's like, hey, you can still come back. Like, we'll take you back. We need you. And I was like,
We need you week one.
I talk to him all the time. His son's name's Luca, and I'm their favorite. He texts me every week, every time I'm on
That's
TV.
crazy.
He's the man. So it's really cool.
So there was no like, were your parents ever like, okay, you're going to WWE now, but what about law school? Are you going to finish? Are you going to come back to it? What are they thinking?
still-
Some parents are big on diplomas. Like, you have to graduate, you have to get something. So,
Mm-hmm.
were your parents ever like, maybe you should finish law school first?
So my parents were like, I think my father was pretty strict growing up, but like over the course of the years became more lax, and now like I look at my dad as like one of my best friends. Like we're like,
That's
it's like if I ever like any mechanical issue, like any problem I have, I'm like calling him. I'm like, is this a broken spring in the garage? He's like, yep. So it's like,
what is
Think
his dad?
he's jacked.
yeah, oh my god, my
gosh.
dad,
No
dad
way.
makes me look small. I don't
It's
know how his
ridiculous.
arms are the
It's
way it
ridiculous.
is.
His dad?
I've never met him in person, but the pictures, man.
Dude, he's
What does
he's
he work
absurd.
with? Like,
So both my parents were bodybuilders.
oh my.
yeah.
Okay, that explains
So
a
you-
lot, guys.
Yeah,
I didn't even know this.
yeah, they were both
That's
bodybuilders.
insane, bro.
My mom was a fitness competitor. She was Miss Fitness Pennsylvania.
Oh my god.
I was
So it
actually
just
just
runs
looking
in-
at a picture on my phone. My dad got second in an NPC open weight thing. He has the huge trophy at home. I just found the picture this morning, I think.
That's
But,
insane.
Yeah, so my parents were like pretty jacked.
Yeah.
My dad's always been in the gym. He eats so clean. He's one of my biggest role models. Is like, how can I be as good as him? It's tough. I don't think it's possible, but like I try. And my brother's also another one of my biggest role models because like he was a really good wrestler and he's the one who kind of pushed me and made me into the wrestler I was in high school and the football player I was in college. Like because I had someone I was like, I got it better than him.
Yeah.
Right?
He was your
you have a
biggest
thing to chase.
competition.
Exactly. And it
Was he older?
Yeah. He's
Oh,
three years older than me.
No, he's coaching at Montour,
Yeah, he
right?
coaches
And then
the-
you helped. You helped.
He
you know,
coaches
well.
the youth wrestling program at Montour.
So you guys are
And
giving back.
Whenever I'm back for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, I go and help coach the youth. I go up and help wrestle with the high school and go to tournaments. Like it's all cool. I love amateur wrestling. I mean that's fun. I go back and watch high school football. I go back and watch Duquesne football. I just like going back because like
Yeah.
that's my
where you
roots.
came
Like,
from, too.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I feel like once you leave
You
Pittsburgh,
were there
you
at
always go
some point.
back.
Yeah, that's one of those
Pittsburgh
cities.
people are like very like connected, and it's like my boy Kurt, two of my best friends, Curtis and Chase, live in Pittsburgh, and it's like I go back and I'm so excited to see them. It's like I have way many more friends back in high school too, and it's like, but just going back to see my boys is very fun.
That's
It's
awesome.
like no time.
Let's backtrack just a little bit back to the
Yeah.
point where you're like, okay, now you got to let go to football and law school. Were you hesitant at all about the law school part? Like, okay, I'm not gonna finish law school. Like, was that?
So, yeah, so it was like I wanted to do WWE. I was like, let me make sure it's all okay with everyone of my football staff, and they were all cool with it except for Doria. And then I was like, okay, now I gotta tell the law school. Tell the law school, and they're like, go do this. Like law school will always be here. You have 7 years to complete your degree, so 6 more years after that first year to get 2 more years of school in. So I was like,
so you
okay.
can come back whenever.
They're like, listen, apply for a leave of absence, send a letter to the dean. You'll get a leave of absence, which extends your thing for another year.
Oh,
that.
that's interesting.
So they allow that, and then they said they were potentially going to offer I don't know if they've done this yet, but an online program at Duquesne Law School.
Really?
Which would be a fully asynchronous thing where you don't have to attend class, you just do it on your own. Which would be nice, especially with the job I have now because I have zero time to do anything else.
I bet you don't.
Yeah.
It was hard to arrange this.
As you know, yeah, I apologize. I'm so sorry about that, by the way.
You're completely fine. I'm just...
It's... Yeah, dang. I felt so bad.
No, you're good, bro.
But, yeah, man, it's a great job, but there's no time. There's no time for that. And like, at the end of the day, like I wanted to be a sports agent, and you don't need a law degree now to be a part of the NFLPA and to be a part of other sports organizations. As a agent, you do need a law degree, but to be an agent for a WWE superstar, you don't. So there's certain things I don't know if UFC requires a law degree. Some require an MBA, but
Are you thinking about getting something? Are you thinking about finishing at some point?
I want to finish law school, and WWE offers a program where they help pay for it. It's just $70,000 a year, so that's very difficult.
Yeah.
And I don't have the time, and my body hurts.
There's
So
lots of ands.
And like, I just hope that this career takes off, because I think that if it does and everything goes the way that it should, I don't need law school.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
But how
what a
long
hell
was
of a
it
plan
from
B.
the time you got that call saying you made it to practicing with WWE, like actually going full-time wrestling?
So I still had to finish. We're now in early April. I believe finals were in May. I had to take all my law school finals. Now
You can't just leave in the middle.
Now, exactly. Now, in the last, because I wanted to finish that first year, the last semester of law school, I wasn't focused on law school. I was focused on
Wrestling.
where do I want to live? I got to get a car.
Of
Let's
course,
get
all
some
the
clothes.
nuances that comes with it.
Exactly. It was like, I'm going to move to Florida. What's around Florida? Like, Hunter lives in Orlando. Like, I remember you texting me. I was like, I remember texting him when I got offered to try. I was like, hey, I got a tryout. I might be moving down to Orlando with you.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I was like, hey, I might be moving to Orlando. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I got a WWE tryout. And then I was like,
Can't
hey,
believe it.
I'm coming down.
And you're in the
So that's what
the
brought you
centers
to
in what?
Florida.
Winter Park, right? The main.
Yeah, we're in Azalea Park off Forsyth Commerce. That's the WWE Performance Center where we have NXT every single Tuesday. You can come enjoy. It's also on USA Network at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's the plug, man.
That's right.
There's the plug.
So that's crazy though, because you were texting me like, "Hey, it could be anywhere in Florida. It's in Orlando, but
Yep.
then Orlando.
That's Tuesdays, yeah,
and it
correct.
ends up being 15 minutes away from where I live.
It's insane. And now I live even closer to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I work like a couple minutes from his house.
We gotta get a lift in
insane.
altogether.
Yeah, for sure. Right at that 24 hour.
You lift at 24 hours?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We go to Crunch sometimes, but I'm always at 24 as well. I have
Yeah.
some friends
I like Crunch. Crunch is cool.
Have you been to the one in Winter Garden? There's like a
No,
brand new
I
one
went.
in Winter
I like the one
Garden.
in Lake Nona. It was just a little drive.
We
but-
were just there. We were there a couple
Yeah,
weeks
the Lake
ago.
Nona one is really close to where I work.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how long was it again from like so you started training in
Yep.
Florida?
So I finished law school, and then I think our class, because it was so big, I believe there might have been like, including NIL, there's like 20. There was 20 people signed total with like Lola Vice, Obafemi, Tank Ledger, Taviana Heights, 4 names that didn't try out with us but started with us, and then there's some names that tried out with us but started a little bit later. But we were about, I want to say like a 3-month turnaround. It's a little bit faster now, I think. So by July, I think I was in by the end of, I think I moved here. Let's get into this. So I planned to move down. I was going to move on a certain day. I talked to my apartment complex. I said, you can move in on this day. Bang. Have it in writing. The day before I'm about to leave, I get a call from the apartment complex. Hey, we haven't passed inspections yet. It was a brand new apartment complex. I'm actually going to, it's called the Avery.
The Avery.
I'm saying this because they're scumbags.
Don't go there, guys.
Yeah, right? And then they were like, actually, you can't move in for 2 more weeks. I go, actually, you put it in writing that my law brain's working. Actually, you put it in writing that I can move in on this day.
They had
I'm
no
moving down
idea.
to Florida, so I'm moving tomorrow. Like, you can't
Letting
just
me
do
in.
that. And they're like, well, we can't do anything about it. And I was like, well, you have to, because you told me. Anyways, they pushed it back like 2 weeks. So I get down to Orlando. I had to stay with a friend for 2 weeks. As I'm staying with that friend for 2 weeks, hey, I'm sorry, inspections are taking a little bit longer.
No
It's going to
way,
be another
man.
month.
Are
So
you
I said,
serious?
listen, I said, and I'm working at the time. I'm wrestling at the time. And I'm like, I don't have my own place. I'm staying
You need
with
a place to
friend.
stay.
You're in
I'm like,
different states.
listen, like, this is absurd. I go, I'm like, we're gonna find another place. And she's like, oh, is there anything else, like anything we can do for you? I was like, I need $5,000, and they were like, oh, okay. End up calling me the
Is there
next day.
anything
They're
you
like,
can do? Yes,
they're like, here's what we
$5,000.
can do. We can offer you 2 free months of rent. And the first month, it was like middle of July on, and you can live there for free the first month, and you get 2 free months of rent. They just can't be back to back. So it would be like August and November. I was like, okay, well that equates to $2,500 a month if it was that. And I was like, that's a little bit more than what I asked for. I was like, okay. And they're like, and we'll give you a $500 gift card to whatever it was, Amazon gift card. And I was like, all right, we can do that.
Sounds convincing.
That's why you need a lawyer.
So exactly. So I used the legal
Get your
brain
lawyer.
for that. Was able to help a few other people because there was 1, 2, 3, me and my 2 roommates, and then there was 3 other girls that also lived like 2 floors above us that also had the exact same problem.
Oh my god.
So it was like 6 of us were homeless for
Literally.
exactly. It was
By definition.
it was ridiculous. All my stuff was in a car.
And there's
a
a bunch of mixed feelings too, because it's like you're going to a new state for a
Yeah.
completely new life and no house.
Yeah,
You
and
don't
I also
have
told
your
them I was like,
family
you have
here.
to pay for a storage unit for us, like however long it is, like you need to pay for that. Like we're not paying for a storage unit. They paid for a storage unit, so they were cool in that aspect. But then, like on the turnaround when I left, they tried charging us for stuff, and I was like, "You're just trying to get the money you gave us back."
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Like they act like they gave you and then try to get it back.
Yeah, they were like, "You didn't return a key fob." I go, "I returned mine, and I saw my roommates return theirs." So,
That's crazy.
and
There was
it
a
was
scratch
like
on the wall.
$100 for a key fob. I was like, "What?
What key is that?
$100? My
Golden
gosh!"
key.
So,
They always try to get everything they can.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I've had a
Don't try
similar
to
case.
find things.
Yeah, literally. I had a scratch on my door and they were trying to charge me. It was at the different place. Another one you don't go to, guys. We're getting a bunch of cases here.
right.
The
by
Verge.
UCF,
Don't go to The Verge.
yeah.
Oh, no.
Because I had a
Verge,
scratch
Avery.
on my door and they charged me like $480 for door replacement. I'm like, what? That was already there.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. What
Yeah,
door
that's
is that?
ridiculous.
What is
Anyways,
this thing,
nuts.
Cut the Zen tape.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so I began training in July. July, August, September. I think I got my name around October, and which is a little weird because so I'm 4 months in, I'm getting my name, and
How does that work, that name part? I've
Yeah.
always wondered, like, does everyone get a name? Can somebody keep their name? Or you have to get a name? Like, how does that
So-
work exactly?
And the name you wanted was actually taken, right?
well, my
Someone-
name Roman
yeah.
is taken, of course.
Right.
But
Also you- oh,
so
I see.
it's tough. There's obviously people, for example, Gable Steveson, Jade Cargill, Chelsea Green, who get to keep their names because they've made their names. Obviously I can't keep Roman Masick. Like I can't use that name because Roman Reigns, who's the
Yeah.
greatest world heavyweight champion of all time, in my opinion, who unfortunately just had his reign ended at WrestleMania recently. But it's okay. Cody finished the story, and I love
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
But that was one of the most historic reigns of all time, so it was awesome. But so you can't use that name. So I get a message one day. I was like, hey, like, or no, it was actually after TV one day. I had one of the writers come up to me and said, hey, you're getting asked for your names, so send me a list of names. Okay, cool. I sent him a list of, I believe, 5 first names, 5 last names. I had them pieced together, and over the course of the next week, wasn't really hearing anything. I was like, what do you guys think? They're like, we don't like him. I was like, okay, cool.
No way.
They're like, send me some more. And like, my favorite one was Carson Street, and that's an homage to Pittsburgh, right? Like, Carson Street is
Yeah.
the biggest strip of bars in the world. I was like, that'd be awesome. I was like, okay, they don't like that. I was like, here's a list of 20 first names and 10 last names that I like. And on the list of first names was Luca and Crusifino. Because, long story short, my parents were going to name me Crusifino.
Oh,
That was
really?
from a movie called The Dawn 2. I looked it up, and one of the characters was named Crusifino and went by Cross. And my mom was like, oh, we're going to name
Crusifino.
him Crusifino. And I think my grandma was like, well, they're going to call him Crisscross Mason, Cross-Eyed Mason. I was like,
That's a funny story.
I was like, whatever. So they ended up going with Roman, which is great because now I can use Crusifino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I sent the list, and I got a text from another writer. It was like, Luca Crusifino. I was like, love it. He's like, you sure? I'm like, yes. He's like, you wouldn't lie to me. I was like, no. He's like, okay, cool. That's it.
That's a really sick name. Yeah, I like that too. It's almost my first name.
know.
I'm Lucas. A lot of people don't know because my last name is Dutra, and I
Yeah.
usually go by my last name as well. But yeah, I'm Lucas. Just an extra S there.
Yeah.
Lucas. So Luca, I really like that as
Luca,
well.
yeah.
That's
It's a
cool.
dope name.
So we have Lucas and Luca.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's cool. So I get my name about 4-ish months after I start, which I get my name. Tank Ledger gets his name. Danny Palmer gets her name. Tavion Heights gets his name. Obafemi gets his name. I think it was us 5. Kale Dixon gets his name. It was like around, there was about 6 of us that got our name early on. I might be missing someone. But everyone started having their matches before me. And now it's like January, and I still haven't had a match. And I was like,
That's probably
is there
discouraging.
something? Yeah, I was like,
Did
like,
you start debating? your
usually when you
decisions?
get your name, you have a match. So
Oh,
like
I see.
they're like,
For
okay,
some
they're ready
context.
for you.
Yeah.
So I was kind of confused. I was like, okay, like not even live events, which live events are coconut shows throughout the state of Florida, which we do usually every other week. We'll go to like Jacksonville or Venice or Davenport, or we don't go as far as Lauderdale. We stay kind of a little bit closer, anything within like a 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
Like Jacksonville, Dade City, cool places like that. We go to the beaches, Melbourne, Cocoa. You get the gist. Stay in Orlando sometimes.
Yeah.
But like we travel all the time, and like even at these shows, like I wasn't getting anything, and I was like, okay, like let's just focus on getting better, because the time spent not wrestling is time spent to get better at wrestling, and that's
Yeah.
kind of when it clicked in my head. It was like, okay, although I'm not working, like I can still get better, and that's kind of was like refreshing for me, and I wasn't really getting down on myself, but like still hearing people like, when are you gonna be on TV? I'm like, I don't know, like I don't know anything until
They tell you.
They let you know.
I'll get into this. Yeah, my brother came to visit me, or no. So we're in like I think end of January-ish, maybe February. I'm in a live event, not planning on having a match at all. I'm just helping unload the truck with the boards and steel beams and all this stuff. We just set up the ring, and one of the producers, Stephen Carino, comes up to me and says, "Luca, do you have your gear?" I said, "Of course. I bring it to every show, just in case."
Why not, right?
You stay ready, so you don't have to get ready. Exactly. So I was like, "Of course I do." He's like, "All right." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I think I might have a match." Go over to
The
him after
day
we
of?
get the day of. Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
Oh,
Imagine
my
those feelings,
God.
man.
Yep. Going up,
Jeez.
and we're in Fort Pierce, and
That's
going
exciting.
over, and wait till I get to this part too, because this is kind of cool. I go up to the producer's table. He's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have a match against the Creed brothers. It's gonna be you and Stax, who's now my tag team partner." So my first match ever was with my current tag team partner, which is awesome.
That's crazy.
So I was like, okay, and it was very like nothing too crazy for me the first match, but like awesome. Like I was like, what should I do? He's like, just go out there, because I was like, I'm a little nervous. Like any pointers? They're like, go out there and enjoy it. Like look at the fans, look at the crowd, like soak it in, because like most people, like it just goes by. And now looking back at it, it went by, but I still remember like I vivid like remember standing on the ring apron, and that it was cool. And then I think another
First match, man.
like 2 or so weeks go by. My brother came down to visit. We went to a concert, and I got my phone pickpocketed. So I'm like, oh no, like you need your phone for everything in this job, because like that's when you get all your stuff. And like, no, if you're booked or whatnot. And so they come down to visit. I take him. I got to go to the Verizon store, get a new phone, whatever. I take him back to the airport. As I drop him off at the airport, it's like 7:30 p.m. on a Monday night.
Yeah.
I get a text message. Congratulations, you're making your level up debut tomorrow versus this person. So it's
Tomorrow.
it's like, what?
That's
Like,
crazy.
Out of the blue.
yeah, so I was so excited. I was like, let me go tan up. Like, I
Get ready.
I get back. I tell my roommate, I'm like, I'm making my debut
You gotta
tomorrow.
always be ready in this
You have
job.
to.
That's
You have
crazy.
to, because anything can change, and it's like you got to be ready. And like also like if you have something like, oh, you're gonna be wrestling this person in 4 months, like it's just gonna be a choreographed thing. Like no, it's not
Spontaneous.
it's not how it should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
It's almost like you're on call, like as a doctor
Exactly.
Or something.
Yeah,
You're on
literally.
call. You don't know when's-
I'm always on call, and it's cool. I like that aspect of it, because
Yeah.
it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
You stay ready, exactly. But so I had my first match against Dante Chen, lose unfortunately, but it was great because that was a good start to getting introduced to the NXT audience. And then over the course of the next few weeks before I had another match, I made a series of commercial break promos. One that actually aired on BT Sport overseas that wasn't supposed to.
No way.
and where I came out to the People's Court song, dun, 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 which is public domain, which was my theme song for a while, which was awesome. It was so cool.
That's great.
Because like whenever that song hits, it's just like
You already know it's coming.
So I come out, cut a promo on Ivy Nile, who's in the middle of the ring. She submits me. I tap out. Crowd hates me. It was awesome. And then I did it again the next week in a neck brace, and then I get my ankle taken by Carmen Petrovich. So I'm just getting beat up by girls, which is like, that's fine. I'll run the play. Like, it's cool. I love this job. I'll do whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So then that kind of was like, okay, like, this is a lawyer character. Let's run with it. Let's see if he can be entertaining. Let's see if he can be fun. And that's kind of how the level up journey started, was wrestling Tyler Bate, losing to him, then wrestling Dante Chen again, beating him, wrestling Miles Bourne, beating him, wrestling Tavion Heights. You can play that clip of me pulling his mouth.
Yeah, let's play that one.
Let's look at that one now.
That was I believe this was my 4th ever Level Up match. So Level Up and TV are different. Level Up is a show that we film 30 minutes ish before.
That's
Look at this.
So the character is obviously the lawyer. You got the stretchy dress pants. You have the vest. You have the tie, the pink tie.
So you're bringing like law school to the WWE almost.
Exactly.
I mean,
and like
you're getting to do both things.
This guy's a stud. This guy's a Greco world's bronze medalist. Like, I can't just beat him wrestling him, so I gotta pick his mouth. I gotta pull his hair. You gotta be a piece of garbage. So, but no, he's a great guy. I've since changed ways from my bad guy, piece of garbage lawyer era, and. Yeah,
Dude, that's crazy.
So I got the win here with this one. Oof. Oh yeah, that's
But he gets up.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'm not dead yet.
Oh my god, bro! Wow.
And what's the crowd
crazy.
thinking right here? They must be amped up.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty amped up. It's pretty cool to watch back some of the old matches.
Oh. Yeah, they.
And then
When was this again? Like, how long ago?
I want to say this is in like, it's got to be like April, because in May, I believe, is when I made my TV debut, and which is weird because so now we're just going down the timeline, which I love. So May, I get told a week before, it's like, hey, you're gonna have your TV debut versus Vaughn, and we had some videos where Vaughn was putting me up against the wall, and I was making fun of him for something with his head, and I was being a piece of garbage, as I was. Like I told you, I've since gotten better and became a better person, better human. But so he kind of beat my ass, but he got disqualified, and I won the match.
Let's go.
And then he powerbombed me onto a table, which hurt.
Oh my god.
I wonder if you have the powerbomb on there.
Do we have that one on the table? Can we
might.
check the videos if we have the one on the table?
And in
I'm
this
not
time,
sure.
are you starting to hand out the
Yeah, so
Crusifino
I
law
was doing
cards?
Crusifino law
You know,
cards,
come to
and I was handing them out to everyone. I was handing them out at live shows. It was awesome. Like I remember, I would have live event promos, and I would put the cards on everyone's seats, and people would just be ripping them in front of my face. I was like, "Don't you dare do that to me!" And it was
so
fun,
cool, the beef.
and
That's probably crazy. Yeah.
I was a heel up until recently, and I think it's because the question you said, how did I get involved in the D'Angelo family, is, well, I introduced myself to Tony, basically telling him that him and Stax shouldn't have to answer to anyone. He's the Don of NXT. He's the top guy. He knows who he is. Basically trying to reignite that fire in him, because he is the man. No one can touch him. And with the power of the Consigliere as me, the family will be stronger than ever. Basically pitching my case with him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Then he takes
How's he
notice
taking
with my
this?
match versus Dijak, and after that match, he said, "Go get him." Basically, I had Stax come get me, brings me in, basically saying he needs a new consigliere, which happened to be
And
me.
it's you.
And he wanted me to help run the family, basically check all his stuff, make sure it's all foolproof, because I am the brains behind it. I have the law background, and I'm the person who's there to make sure that everything is solid, make sure that I'm testing every plan to make sure it's foolproof, making sure that nothing can go wrong. And unfortunately, the plan that we had for him against Ilya Dragunov was to attack that hand because that's his chopping hand. That's his most dominant weapon. And we did it successfully, but not to the point where Tony was able to come out on top. But Tony's story's not over because Tony D'Angelo is going to be the man. He's going to be the NXT champion. He's going to be the North American champion.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah. And then me
Do
and
we have
Stacks-
another clip here?
Yeah, but what is the name?
Wait, what is the fight that you get thrown
Yeah.
on the table and stuff?
Von Wagner.
Von Wagner.
VON, yeah.
I'm probably gonna be able to get that really soon, but damn, yeah, dude, breaking the table like on your back, stuff like that, I couldn't.
Yeah, this should be
Because-
because there's a clip of probably the match, and then there's probably a clip of the table spot.
The table spot. Let's try to find that.
Yeah, try to
part.
find the table one.
Because I've done like other martial arts. I did in Muay Thai. Yeah, but let's just show the part on the table.
Yeah.
Because it's so we don't
There
get the
it
whole
is.
video.
Oh, no. What's the date of that too? May 20th. The one, the one below it.
2023. Oh, this one?
Yeah, that one.
That's
There's
it.
the there's the
That's the one.
Luca.
there's
Yeah.
the eagle flying. Oh no.
Oh no.
Got to be careful with the use of the legal eagle. Also, like I can't sell merchandise with that on it. I can't. It's already trademarked by an attorney online, so that's just a moniker I go by, but not anything
officially.
official. Yeah, nothing. You got to be careful as a lawyer. I know. Like, imagine that news story. Luca Crusifino gets sued by legal eagle.
That would
That's
be
why
crazy
I'm like,
headlines.
I don't say people can call me the legal eagle. I don't call
The
myself that.
the website's pretty legit too.
Oh, look at this.
Oh no,
Oh, that hurt my calf so bad, and my back.
dude! Oh my god.
And Vaughn is just
Yeah, my mom's in the crowd here.
No.
There she is, right there, sitting down,
No way. It's your
sitting
mom
down,
right
taking
there.
pictures. Oh, there she is, standing up now.
Dude, I bet she wanted to get in there.
Yeah.
and who do we have here?
So that's Robert Stone. He's one of the best wrestlers. He's Von Wagner's manager.
So he's trying to hype Vaughn up.
Yep, he's
While
actually
you're on.
telling him he's like, don't do this, Vaughn. Like you're better than that. Like even though he's a piece of shit, like don't do it to him. And he's like, you know what? F it.
Yeah, he couldn't hold himself. Oh,
And the table didn't break.
my God.
Ow. Yeah, that was painful.
Bro. Yeah.
And the manager's
Dude.
livid.
You gotta get
Yeah.
him back, bro.
Clearly.
Yeah, I wrestled him again. So I won this one, but I wrestled him. So I won by disqualification. I wrestled him again and I lost, but it's okay. He's a good guy.
Up and down.
Yeah, he's a better guy. I'm
That's
not that bad of a
crazy, man.
person anymore. But yeah, no, it's been very cool. And then around this time last year, I was put into a battle royal where the winner gets to wrestle the North American champion. And
Oh my
I,
God.
with my heel antics and my my shady lawyer antics, I snuck out of the ring at one point and came in at the end and won the battle royal. So I got my first championship match about a year ago.
Wow, that's cool.
Against Wesley, and unfortunately I wasn't victorious, but still fun. And that town of Sebring, Florida, hates me. So it is interesting going back to these towns that hate me now is being a part of a very liked family. But I think they've seen that my ways have changed and I'm not that piece of garbage person anymore. So it's kind of cool. And now having some matches with Stacks, I've had 2 matches with Stacks, one on Level Up, one on TV, and a few on live events where we've came out victorious every time. I think we found a very good team and a very good duo and a very good trio and a very good quattro with
Wow.
the entire family.
The D'Angelo family.
Yeah, we run NXT, ran by Tony D'Angelo, but the family is here to take
Making
over.
big things.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's-
So you're definitely great at grappling. Did you ever think about like doing a jiu-jitsu practice or like going into
Yeah, have
that
you done
side of
other
things?
martial arts like
So,
jiu-jitsu, stuff like that, Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
I did one jiu-jitsu practice with my brother, and it was at the Mat Factory in Pittsburgh. And my brother's an amateur MMA fighter, now a real estate agent. He's
Wow.
very
Big,
good.
yeah.
So like, and I was like, okay, like I'm good at the wrestling stuff. We did like the hand fighting and wrestling stuff. That was easy. And then like the day of jiu-jitsu I tried to go to was like, it was like knee bar day, and I was like,
Oh my God, those
I
are
was
scary. Yeah.
And he was like, honestly, he's like, don't do any of this. He's like, this is like advanced stuff. He's like, if you do one wrong turn, you're gonna get hurt. So I was just like watching and trying, but like, it's now, especially with this
But have
job.
you rolled him? Like your brother?
I've wrestled with him. Yeah. Back in
how did that
back in
go?
high school, he would beat my ass. But
What about now?
once I placed third in states, I say I'm a state champion because I round up. Once I placed third in states, I threw him in the hotel room, which was awesome. He might have had a few drinks underneath him. I was also probably 50 pounds, 60 pounds heavier than him. And then
You don't have to say that part.
yeah, and then we came back this past Christmas I wrestled with him in front of the kids.
Yeah.
And the first time we wrestled, he got me. Next time we wrestled, I threw him. So
Yeah.
So it's
I-
even
so it's a
as of
good
right
match.
now.
yeah, he's a way better. Like if I would wrestle him in a real match, he'd probably beat me by at least 10.
Really?
But like, he's a stud. He's so explosive, so powerful. But like, his gas tank was never good. And I hope he's watching this because
He will.
my gas tank
cardio.
ain't the best either. But yeah, you gotta get your cardio up, cuz.
Love it.
But what about striking? Have you ever considered like boxing or like Muay Thai, like kicking, kickboxing, or even
love
MMA?
to because that's really good cardio. I would love to do MMA. I mean,
Have you tried it before? Like any sort of striking?
I've like hit pads and stuff, but
nothing like-
Nothing
more.
like really organized.
Correct. Yeah. No. It's tough with this job because you don't have time, you don't have the energy. Because I work out outside, even though like that's really good cardio for you. Which I think why not just get into boxing? But like anything with grappling, like I don't want to risk the chance of getting injured outside of work. Like at work, like I'll give it my all, but like outside of work, like yeah, I don't want to do anything that could cause me to ruin where I'm going right now.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking is because I wanted to know if you would wrestle like Logan Paul or box him.
It's a potential I could wrestle him, yeah, for sure.
You would be down to?
Oh, absolutely.
You think you can beat him?
Yeah, of course I think I could, man. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. He's so talented, so athletically gifted, so good on the microphone for someone who's been in this business for such little time. That's impressive. Like,
Yeah.
it's really cool to see him.
I don't know how his wrestling is, but
Oh, he's good.
He's good?
It just doesn't make sense. People who, I mean, he's
because I've seen him box, but I haven't
think he
actually
might-
watched him
he's
wrestle.
might have
that
had
much.
around like 10 matches, and he's a United States champion. He's a beast.
Wow.
Like it's very impressive.
But you can get him.
I absolutely think so. I mean, you always got to bet on yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. That's awesome.
So where is the future going for like Luca? What's like the next steps for Luca? You're continuing with this D'Angelo family,
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a happy family, one big happy family right now. Well,
close knit.
I would say a happy family coming off this most recent tag win, but a motivated family because of what happened to Stand and Deliver and knowing where we want to get the Don back to, get him in that right mental state so he can conquer this company. Because us as his family is a very good thing, and it's I think we got a lot of power, a lot of powerful pull with him, with the underboss, with the Consigliere, with Adriano Rizzo. It's a stacked family
Yeah.
to say the least, and the only way's up.
That's awesome. I wanted to hear like a little bit about other stuff too. Like, what do you do outside of just wrestling? Because I know like you are a pro wrestler, and that's great and all of that, and we talk a lot about that. But what do you like? What are some like hobbies that you have on the side of that? Like, because now I know it's really busy with wrestling. You told us you like to lift and stuff, but that's kind of like tied to that. Do you have any like unrelated side things that you like to do?
I used to not like going to the beach, but now I like going to the beach.
Any
since-
other side sports that you do now?
Honestly,
Your life
nothing,
became
man.
this.
My life
You're
is
so
this.
busy.
It's just like
That's crazy.
I will go to work at 9 a.m. I leave work at 1 o'clock. I'll go work out. I'll come back to work at 4. I'll leave work at 6, and that's my day.
and then you're resting for the next
Yep.
day.
Yep, and we have promo class. We would have history classes, learning about the history of wrestling early on, and now going through all that.
Oh,
So,
so
that's
there's
cool.
to that
Yeah.
theoretical part.
Promo classes are fun. Like you come up, be creative, come up with a promo, just practice. Because it's very nerve wracking talking in front of a live audience. It's like you're on live TV, don't screw up.
Yeah.
Oh no. Like,
Live is probably a whole different world.
So what was it like?
my
How
gosh.
are you now from like where you began live?
head and heels
talking live?
above what? Yeah. With life, I'm the happiest I've been. Maybe it's because I'm on TV and that's awesome. But it's like I feel like everyone's so supportive. I'll get messages from everyone every week. It's just it's fun, especially after the trip to Stand and Deliver and to Philadelphia. Freezing cold, by the way. Oh, I don't miss
I
that.
bet you it is.
I don't miss that, man. Anytime it drops below 70 here, I'm shivering.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
it's different.
It's
I'm telling you,
weird.
it's different.
It's really weird, but Yeah, being in Philly for that event, like, I brought 7 suits and I wore them all.
Oh my god.
Yeah, packing
Yeah, let's
7
talk
suits is
about
good.
your.
Let's please.
Let's talk about
my suits.
the outfits
talk about
and
my
everything.
suits.
This man has
How many suits you have, man?
how many suits, ties, watches? I mean,
That's
you got
watches.
you dress
watches,
well.
Watches is probably like 20. Tie
Oh
suits
my
is
God.
probably like 28 to
I've
30.
got one Apple Watch, guys. That's it.
Yeah, probably have about 28 to 30 suits.
Oh
And
my
then-
god.
Probably like 60 or 70 ties.
Wow.
And probably like 20 pairs of dress shoes at least.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
Luca
absurd.
Luca
My
can
closet-
dress
my
well.
closet- I did like a whole closet renovation. And it's absurd.
Wow,
It's-
that's super cool. Yeah, lots of money. The budget
the-
going into the suits and stuff.
You have to invest in your character, and that's a big thing. Because once they see that you're putting in the effort, I think that's a reason why I got put on TV is because like every Tuesday I'd show up to TV in a full 3-piece suit, like nice suits, and like you gotta look the part. You look like a superstar. You are a superstar. You come in looking like a bum. It's like this guy doesn't care. No, I invested in my character. I bought thousands of business cards. I bought nameplate. I bought many suits. I got
You did the website
yard
too,
size. I
and that
made
looks
I made a
so
custom
legit.
website.
Looks
yeah.
better than actual. Than
What is the
any-
website? You
It's
can
a
talk
real
about
website.
your website.
CrusifinoLaw.com.
We can put it on the screen.
Yeah, you can put it on the screen. It's a nice website. We can go through it. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Crusifino, and Crusifino.
Yeah,
right?
so that's what it was. And they're like, listen, like, if it's Crusifino, and Crusifino, people are going to think, like, who are the other two? I'm like,
Yeah.
you're right. So it's just Crusifino Law now. So
And it used to be what, like your head for Luca Crusifino.
another
they
picture
were
of
all-
me. Another
yeah.
picture.
I
Like,
loved it.
I got a 3-faced personality. Like
It was great.
It's funny. Yeah, it's like me with the bun, me with the pony, me with the hair down.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
3 versions
So
of
it
your
used
hair.
to be wrestling in a bun, which was cool and I liked it. But I would have to hairspray the hell out of it, man, because like
To
sometimes
stay.
it would just come out. And then, now you got there it is.
Yeah, there we go.
And then we'd have you can go to the About Us page and see the picture of me.
Looks
now.
like a pillar, the L and C.
About
Yeah,
Us.
that's my custom logo. I made
it.
I
That's
designed
awesome,
that.
man.
There's me, founding partner Luca
Whoa,
Crusifino.
look at the man.
Born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Luca Crusifino graduated at the top of his law school class. Mr. Crusifino began his career at Ruffalo, which is my mom's maiden name, Dennis and D'Angelo. There's a little hint there. Law firm in New York City where he quickly rose to senior partner in just 3 short years, which is, I don't think that's possible. He started Crusifino Law Firm in 2017 and has quickly become one of the top lawyers in the
Yes.
country.
That's awesome, man. Wow.
And he's decided. And then you can go right to my Instagram, my Twitter, and my TikTok too. So it's
Perfect.
I got it all. There's a contact page. There's
that's
testimonials,
super cool.
and if you go on the home, you go back to the homepage here. You can scroll down. You can see
Get a free consultation.
there's like
Oh my god.
so there's a legal disclaimer. Keep going down.
That's crazy.
Like
It's a
tune in
whole
every
thing.
Tuesday at 8 p.m. on USA Network. Click the link below to access live events to meet Luca Crusifino. That takes you to all the
my
live
God,
events.
that's
So
Great.
super organized.
this weekend we have 2 live events, April 12th, 13th, or whenever this.
So if you want to join an event or show up, get tickets here.
Yeah, of
Right
course.
on
Go to
Crusifino
CrusifinoLaw.com. You can get your tickets through the link. It's pretty cool. And then there's videos of me getting assaulted on there. It's hilarious. Like if you go back to the website, you can see like Crusifino versus Dragunov, Ilya Dragunov. I filed a lawsuit against him. Crusifino versus Wagner, filed a lawsuit against him.
So you have a lawsuit against everyone,
Yep.
of course.
On October 30th, an ex account Natty by Nature posted a potentially defamatory and libelous picture. A cease and desist has been ordered. And then on December 26th, Jamie
I
McDonough,
love that.
Like,
That's
there's video evidence of assault right here.
real evidence.
Yeah,
That's great.
that might take you to my Twitter page with the video. I don't know if it's gonna load
Insane, man.
because it's copyrighted, but no, it's
Yeah.
you gotta invest, and I think they noticed that. Oh, this
you're
guy's
putting
put
the
all
work
this
in.
work
He's
in.
putting the work,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I saw online was like, oh, WWE created a website for him, and I was like, I created this all myself,
you
man.
did.
Like, let me get my flowers here. But
What
yeah.
was like the biggest event you have participated? Was it with WWE or
That-
football?
no,
Like the biggest event you've been a part of? Like
so
performing.
Stand and Deliver. I did the entrance with Tony D'Angelo. I didn't wrestle, but I was out there, and that was in front of almost 17,000. I think it was 16,500.
Wow.
In front of when we played TCU was probably the biggest event. That was 40,000 maybe. I'm not sure.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
that was cool. I
And
played in
what
that
was
game.
like the most nerve wracking event? Was it the biggest one? Was it that one?
No.
Like where you felt the most nervous on like first
The
point?
most nervous thing was the most nervous I ever was actually my first ever wrestling match, and it wasn't in front of fans. It was in front of other wrestlers and coaches, because that's like, it's tough to like in front of your coworkers. Like you just feel like you're getting judged instead of fans where they're like cheering for you. In front
It's a
of
very
your
different
coworkers,
feeling,
it's
yeah.
completely different, and that's called PC Live, and that's tough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So
Yeah.
that was in high school or something?
That was in WWE.
Oh, that was in WWE. Okay, yeah.
in
I
front
was
of
like,
your
okay,
coworkers,
cool.
in front of your coaches, because you just
Oh,
feel
so
like,
that's doing training, kind of.
correct.
Oh
Yeah, it's
my
like a
God.
practice match.
Practice match,
in the
okay.
arena and everything. It was like,
Oh, it's in the whole arena.
stressful.
Okay, now I
Yeah.
get it.
it was like, what am I doing? I didn't know my song. I didn't know what I was doing for my entrance. I was like, don't forget anything. Like,
There's a lot of things.
Battling
going
your
on,
own
man.
thoughts going into this.
yeah, right. It was.
Let's pull up some more of these pictures because there's some cool ones that we haven't shown yet.
Yeah, let's show them.
We need to-
I'll talk you through exactly what we were doing. Yeah.
Yeah, we prepared some big ones, and he looks like a completely different person with the hair out too.
Yeah,
Like-
he didn't even know that was you at first. He was like, "Who's this guy with there?"
I was
Yeah.
like, "Why did you cut the hair?" He's like, "No, he just has a bun." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, everyone sees the bun because I do it nice and tight up here that you can't even see the mane.
Yeah.
It's a nice little touch. So I got the 3 face of Crusifino. But actually, this January, I got a call on Sunday night. It's like, hey, you're needed for Raw TV tomorrow, which is Monday Night Raw. If you don't know what that is, it's in Tampa. I was like, what? Like, yeah, like you can just drive out tomorrow. That's cool. I was like, yeah, perfect. Drive out to Tampa for Raw. Found out I have a match, main event, which is what airs before Raw.
Oh
so I was
my
I was a
God.
little bit nervous. So that's my gear. That's
Yeah,
You're showing the suits.
beautiful gear, custom by Sandra Gray, who's one of the best gear makers and the best gear maker in the world. She's awesome. She made that for me. That's what
Oh,
I.
it's like
so she
custom made.
customizes
That's
all your
crazy.
pieces.
Yeah,
Or
so
most
this
of
is
them?
the first piece I had made by her, and I'm getting a few more done here soon. It's tough to get stuff made before
There we go.
WrestleMania. Yeah, so there's the it's a tearaway vest because before. So let's go. Let's travel back to November-ish. I get told I'm going to be a part of the breakout tournament, which is I'm gonna have a match on TV. I'm like, this is awesome. There's 8 guys who get selected, and I was one of the 8.
Oh
and
my
it's
God.
like for new talent to showcase their abilities. So I get told I'm in the breakout tournament. So they're like, hey, but we want you to wrestle without the vest. I'm like, oh no.
Oh, no, don't tell me to get up.
I've been bulking to try to make my arms look good
Yeah.
because I'm wearing a vest. I'm like, I don't really care what my stomach looks like. So now I have
Oh
2 weeks
my
to get into
God.
shape. So I lose. I'm like, I got up to like 235. Now I get back down to 220. And I'm like, okay, I look decent enough. I'm good.
Oh my God, that's crazy that you have to prepare like your body based on what you're gonna wear.
Exactly, because I was
That's
like, I want to bulk
insane.
because like no one's gonna see my stomach, and then I'm like, oh no, like I gotta,
Take off the vest.
yeah, I'm like, I gotta cut now. So I get a quick 2-week cut in, have the match, and then we come back from break, and I'm still cutting, get the gear made. The gear was awesome. I had another gear maker try to make me something that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I got fully refunded because of how bad it was. I still have it. I'll show it someday. It's really bad. That's,
Speaking of cutting, though, what's the best way to lose weight for
cardio,
cardio?
yeah.
Okay.
Cardio and don't eat after like 7 or 8, which I'm gonna do tonight. It's gonna be
Probably.
super clean.
Do you sauna?
Sauna's actually really beneficial for you. It's like decreases your risk of like getting a heart attack by like 40%. You can look it up. I'm
yeah.
not too sure exactly what the percentage is there.
That's
So we got another
really
clean
awesome,
suit
dude.
here.
Yeah,
Help
that's
the
a nice.
ties
That's
are-
a nice. Yeah,
Oh,
Look at this.
This is the match in front of
The 17th.
15,000 people
Oh my
at main
God,
event
dude,
wrestling against
15,000.
Julius Creed, who my first match was against.
So is this your first match or no?
This
It's
is
just the same guy?
my first match on Raw, like Raw TV main event. But this was my first.
What is that chest tattoo that you have? Is it?
This is the Roman
Zeus?
god Jupiter, which is the Greek equivalent to Zeus. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I didn't even have it got different names.
Yeah,
I thought
right?
it was just Zeus.
yeah. So it's
That's sick.
So
dude.
what's it
That's-
like in this moment, being around all of these fans? Like, I mean,
It was-
this
You
is-
probably
it's
feel
packed,
so-
sold out crowd.
so
powerful.
William Regal gave me some advice and said like, you know what you're doing. Like you're working in the. This is from the most recent match. Look at the shoulder veins.
Sheesh.
Check that out.
But he gave me some advice. He's like, it's the same 20 by 20 ring, same exact thing out there. He's like, just do what you know. And I went out there, and it was actually easier.
And you're used to performing in front of like crowds with
Yeah.
football, with wrestling.
But, like,
even
this
in
crowd
high
here is like
school. But this is-
400, 500 people, and they're awesome. But it's different when you perform in front of 15,000
Yeah.
people who have no idea who you are. So you got to
Yeah.
build your name.
That's when you get the chance to be like, oh, that throw was sick.
Yes,
That's case
that's
closed right there.
crazy.
That's the 15,000 people, right?
Yeah, that's
dude.
case closed.
Case closed, match over.
Yeah,
Dude,
nope,
that's-
I lost.
Really?
Yeah, he's good. He's a beast.
Oh my god, but that
Yeah.
was great. I like the eye too. I just noticed.
Yeah, right.
The eye tattoo.
My mom, that's the only one that I didn't draw. My mom drew that one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, really?
Yep. There's the flying eagle.
And this was the April 9th one, right?
yeah, that was from
This was-
April 9th with the tag match against No Quarter Catch Crew.
Wow, he's also a
In
big
the
guy.
D'Angelo family.
Yeah, look at
was
Adriano
after
Rizzo
it.
on the side. Look at Channing Lorenzo trying to make his way back to his feet. There's the leg drop from the eagle.
Dude, oh my god, that's a sick picture, man.
Yeah, it's I got
That's-
some height with that.
Yeah, that's wow. That's
So I bet you a lot of people are wondering how is moving with these suit pants.
So these are the new ones that Sandra made. There's a little bit stretched to them. The old ones I wore were complete like all stretched fabric. And the funny thing is the boots, those are dress shoes that I just got resold and put wrestling soles on the bottom. So those are real dress shoes.
Really?
Yeah. So I wear dress shoes. I have dress belt. These are like real dress pants, dress socks. Like I got the full thing on. It's
It's like an actual.
like I'm playing
yeah.
into it. It's kind of fun. It's not kind of fun. It's really
It is.
fun.
That's
And
insane.
there's Road Dogg on commentary down there with Blake Howard. So that was kind of cool.
Who's the coolest commentator that you've met so far?
There's the family right there. I'm gonna say Pat McAfee, right?
Yeah.
Corey Graves, both Pittsburgh guys. I mean, those are studs. Michael Cole's the GOAT. Booker T's awesome. Vic Joseph is the man, dude. It's just Blake Howard's a stud. Byron Saxton. I'm gonna put them all over because like there's not one that's better than the other. Like it was the coolest. Like right after that main event match with Julius, like I walked back through the curtain and Pat McAfee was right there. That was the coolest moment. I was like, Pat, I'm from Pittsburgh. Like I didn't know what to say.
Yeah, like what do you say in this moment?
Yeah, it was like it's cool and like they're all really cool. We work with Booker T and Vic Joseph every week, and look at the sign. Riz handles biz. Yes,
Yeah.
she does.
So this is like kind of going back to what we did earlier, said earlier with Philly, was The Rock there in Philly?
Yeah, I didn't get to meet him, but he wrestled the first night and he came out the second night and hit the rock bottom on John Cena and
So
he
it's
got
The
chokeslammed by
Rock.
the Undertaker. Yeah,
that's
so
And
that's
it's
it.
like return, right? His return to
Yeah,
WWE.
this is his return. They're going to release a documentary that was announced on Monday Night Raw following WrestleMania about the making of WrestleMania 40 and The Rock's character as the final boss. He killed it, man. He's so good, and this new era that we're in now is amazing. It truly is a new era of WWE, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. Be a part of the first new era episode of NXT. Oh my god, man!
incredible
Yeah,
stuff
it's cool.
going on.
Dude, that's a completely different world. Yeah, it's really nice to learn about this because again, like I'm really used to like UFC and like all these other fighting things.
Yeah.
But then when I hear about this, I'm like, oh my god, this is actually really interesting as well.
Yeah, you're right.
And do they have like, so you have a belt like the UFC? You know, like the champ has a belt, and you have the current champion.
Yeah, we have championship titles. We have the NXT championship.
Is there like the world one, like the main?
Yep. So for main roster, there's two there's the WWE championship and there's a world heavyweight championship. One for each brand, one for Raw, one for SmackDown. Same with women's. They both have Women's World WWE. There's the United States Championship. There's the Intercontinental Championship.
Wow.
There's the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And then with NXT, you have the North American Championship. You
And
have the NXT
does it work the
Championship.
same way as the UFC, where you have to keep beating people to?
Oh yeah, you have
get
to keep
up and
retaining.
then-
You have to keep retaining your title
until you
to keep it.
challenge the champ. I'm
Correct.
saying how to get to the champ. Like you
Yeah,
have to
there'll
beat
be a
all these
number one
people.
contenders match. The champ could call out anyone they want.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
There could be open challenges. There's a bunch of cool different ways to go about it.
Yeah,
sweet.
it's kind of like UFC. You also
Yeah.
do a bunch of like random ways of getting to the champ, but it's Yeah, it's probably crazy to go against a champ.
Yeah, right.
One day, Luke.
Yeah, right. That's it.
One day, Luca.
And new
And new.
Reigning.
Who is the current champ for like your division?
Ilya Dragunov, who Tony D'Angelo lost to at Stand and Deliver.
Oh,
But there's some good contenders. Tony D'Angelo is the man. He's the Don. The current North American champion is Obafemi, who came in with me. He's a beast.
Wow.
They just announced a new championship title getting added, the Women's North American Championship, which is awesome. And then the NXT Tag Team Championships just changed hands on that same exact episode on April 9th.
Oh, wow.
From Braun and Baron to Axiom and Nathan Frazier. So me and Stax are looking at those guys right now, ready for some competition. We want to get some gold.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Well, we don't want to keep you too long.
Yeah, we know you're a busy guy and you got some practice tomorrow.
So of course.
So let's see. Let's show us to the camera the point. You're known for this. Talk about.
So
Yeah, how did this come to be yet? Just to wrap this up, what does this mean? Like, how did that...
I don't know. I just feel like that's a signature lawyer pose you see, and like I was always doing it like this. So if this
I
camera's
will
looking at
win
me,
you.
my hand is now blocking my face. So I had to learn the point's got to be here. So it's like you're learning like where the camera takes you. You don't want to block your face with the point. You don't want to be up here. You got to show that moneymaker. You got to show the face. And the point, you stare down the barrel, and you're right here.
That's a good cut
Stern
right there.
look. I love it. I will
great.
win you $500,000.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
That's
There's
the
no other lawyer that can.
Yeah.
No one can do it like Crusifino.
All right, Luca, it was a pleasure having
Yeah.
you here today
Thank you
with
guys
us,
so
man. It was
much.
great learning a little more about your story, your background, and how you came to be Luca Crusifino, man.
Yes, sir.
Congrats.
My guy.
Thanks,
meeting you,
Luca
bro.
Crusifino.
My guy.
Thank you so much, man. You have a great day. So, for everybody watching, guys, go follow Luca Crusifino on all his social media, okay? You can learn about how he came to be and everything. And stay tuned on the DASHCAST for all our next guests and everyone here. Thank you for you that stayed until the end, and I'll see you
Thank you,
soon on
guys.
the next DASHCAST.
Peace.